From vertical rails to hidden bases, here's 94 Minecraft facts you probably missed. In Minecraft, you cannot use water in the Nether. Try bringing a snow bucket instead. Using the snow bucket and leather boots, you can climb up tall walls or clutch from high heights. Villager trades can be super expensive, but a way to combat this is by curing them from zombie villagers back into normal ones. You can even do it multiple times to get their prices dirt cheap. If there's a massive lava pool that you need to cross but have no blocks, bring a couple boats. If you place them right before you fall into the lava, you can jump across without taking any damage. Sand and gravel will always fall because it has gravity, but did you know that you can find sand that hasn't fallen yet until you interact with it? This was originally a bug, but then turned into a feature with the little particles. Cooking food with a furnace or a smoker costs fuel like coal, so if you have none, just use a campfire. It's basically free and in my opinion looks way better. Using a respawn anchor can respawn you inside the Nether if you die. The issue is you only have 4 charges before you have to manually recharge it, but if you hook up an observer and a dispenser, it will always refill when you die, allowing you to have an infinite anchor. Did you know that growing a mushroom will delete any block that it grows into? You can use it to break obsidian and even end portal frames. Did you know that honey blocks are actually shorter than the basic block? This means if you create a bubble elevator on the corner of a wall and line it with honey, you can go up the elevator through the honey. You should never spawn the wither in the overworld or the Nether. This is because when you place the wither under the end portal, it'll actually get stuck underneath, allowing you to easily kill it. Make sure you're using a stone cutter when you craft stairs. This is because when you use a stone cutter, you get 1 for every stone, unlike in a crafting table when you get 4 for every 6. Never break gold ore blocks in the Nether, even with a fortune pickaxe. This is because when you break them with a normal pickaxe, you get golden nuggets, but if you break it with a silk touch pick and then smelt them in a furnace, you'll actually get a golden ingot for every block. The warden is such a strong boss, but its biggest weakness is that it can only hit one thing at a time. This means if you bring an army of dogs to kill it, you'll easily do it. If you have so much stuff that you need to bring around, get an ender chest, but fill it with 27 shulker boxes. This means you can have 729 inventory slots that are portable and no one can take. The new autocrafter block is super cool with its ability to automatically craft items, but it also has an interesting secondary function. You can use the new autocrafter block to transmit redstone signals. The amount of blocks you click transmits a higher signal. This means you can use the crafter as a passcode door for your house. Did you know that a sign in Minecraft is slightly taller than the standard block? This hidden secret allows placing a carpet on top of a sign to create what looks like a small stick or post. This trick can let you write stuff on the ground through carpet. You've probably heard the golden rule of Minecraft: never dig straight down. While this advice is true to some extent, it's not entirely accurate anymore. This is because the chances of falling into lava while digging straight down are only about 0.6%. The risk isn't 0, so it's still better to be safe than sorry. Endermen are known for their mysterious and unsettling sounds, but have you ever wondered what they're actually saying? The noises they make really sound like gibberish at first, but the noises they make are actually hello and what's up, but reversed and distorted. Creepers are one of the most iconic mobs in Minecraft, but despite having no arms, they're actually able to climb ladders. Mojang, what is this? Throwing chicken eggs in Minecraft have a 1 in 8 chance to hatch a baby chicken, but did you know there's a rare chance of hatching not just 1 but 4 baby chickens from a single egg? The odds of this happening are incredibly low, at just 0.39% or 1 in 256 throws. Lots of people want netherite armor because it's the best of the best, but when you compare it to diamond armor, the differences aren't as significant as you might expect. Aside from appearance, netherite's only advantage is a small increase in durability, and if you're on Bedrock, it provides better knockback resistance. Next time you're curing zombie villagers, you should put them in an iron bar cell with a bed. This is because with iron bars and a bed in its vicinity, it makes the villager cure about 4% faster. Did you know the creeper was actually created by accident? During early development, Jeb and Notch were trying to make a pig, but because of an error in the coding, they were given this monstrosity. Instead of deleting it, they decided to stick with it and create the creeper. Steve is a very iconic skin, and his smile is even more recognizable, but apparently his smile is actually a beard. Lots of fans have debated this, and if you look closely, the 2 pixels here could be his mouth. What do you think? Zombie pigmen are one of the more annoying mobs in Minecraft. If you attack one, the entire nearby group will become hostile and swarm you. However, there's a little known trick to avoid this. If you manage to kill a pigman instantly, the others won't detect your attack and will remain neutral. Pandas have a surprising reaction to thunderstorms. Unlike most other mobs, pandas actually get scared during a thunderstorm. They start crying and if possible will hide under a tree or other natural cover from the rain. Navigating the Nether can be a daunting task, especially since maps don't function as they do in the overworld. When you try to use a map in the Nether, it appears blank. However, there's a workaround. Banner markers that you can set still show up on the map when in the Nether, so you can use this to find the direction of any location. Pillagers are one of the more aggressive mobs in Minecraft. However, even these ruthless mobs have fears of their own. The new creaking mob is one of the few things that can frighten pillagers. Watching them scatter in fear is so satisfying. Explosions are one of the biggest threats to your base, especially when it comes to chests. A single creeper blast or TNT explosion can scatter your items everywhere. But did you know there's a little trick to protect your chest? By placing a bucket of water inside the chest's block space, you can make it immune to explosive damage. Out of every ore in the game, if you're using Fortune 3, lapis ore has the highest drop rate, even more than coal. The highest amount of lapis you can get from one block is 36 lapis lazuli. Villagers can actually sleep in lava. This is because villagers can sleep on a half bed with just a pillow on it. You can do this with commands or a debug stick, but basically villagers are able to sleep in the bed still if you replace the block where the bed was with anything, even lava. Most people kill the ender dragon with a bow or a sword, but did you know snowballs can do the trick as well? The ender dragon and blaze are the only mobs in the game that take damage to thrown snowballs. We all know the fortune enchantment can give you better chances to pick up ore drop, but its uses can be extended to picking up more apples from leaves, seeds from tall grass, and flint from gravel. Did you know that TNT can actually blow up underwater? Yes, it's actually true. Just place sand on top of the TNT so when it blows up, the sand will fall into it. This will allow the TNT to blow up underwater. If you ever have no armor and are wondering the max height you can fall without dying is, it's 19 blocks. Once you fall 20 blocks, you'll die. Enchanting can be super annoying, especially if you just got done getting level 30 and the bottom enchant is something terrible like Bane of Arthropods. But there's a little trick you can use to fix this. Using a tool you don't want, you can enchant it with a level 1 and refresh every single enchantment for every tool. We all know that zombies and skeletons burn in the daylight, but a lesser known feature is that they actually will not burn if they're standing on top of soul sand. I don't really understand how this works, but it's still an interesting feature nonetheless. Ravengers are one of the most dangerous mobs in the game because of how far their reach is, but using this structure you can easily kill them. Building a 4-block tower and then using a trapdoor to crawl on top of it, you're now in range to kill the Ravenger with your sword and they're not able to hit you. If you just crafted brand new netherite armor and are worried not to tank its durability, don't worry. This is because armor isn't damaged by suffocating, drowning, starving, poison, harming potions, or post-fire damage. Pair this with mending on all of your armor and your armor will be invincible. Deep Slate Emerald ore is actually the rarest ore in the game. This is because they only spawn in mountain biomes, and because of Emerald's world height spawning locations, very few spawn low enough to be Deep Slate. If you've ever seen a YouTuber on the Nether roof and wonder how they got there in the first place, they actually used ender pearls. To do this, you need to place a ladder on the second top bedrock, and then throw an ender pearl at the top one. This will allow you to phase through the roof. Just make sure to bring a portal, otherwise you'll be trapped there forever. Paintings are a great way to hide a chest in Minecraft, but everyone knows about this. A better way is to use maps. You can actually open chests behind a map. Just place the item frame on a chest and then use the map to conceal it. Lots of people like to scatter their tree saplings, but did you know trees can actually grow right next to each other? This can save lots of space and make it super easy to farm wood as they're all so close to each other. When people think of the rarest blocks in Minecraft, they might say ancient debris or deep slate emeralds, but it's actually pumpkins and melons. They spawn way less compared to the ores, but the thing is once you have one, you have unlimited. If you've ever seen rain or storms in Minecraft and randomly wondered how often it happens, here's the facts. Weather occurs every 7 Minecraft days or about every 2 real life hours. The chance of what type of weather it is random, so that's why thunderstorms are so rare. Invisibility potions have a hidden secret I'm sure you didn't know about. Firstly, if you splash an enderman with an invis potion, its eyes will stay visible. The same thing happens with a spider. But did you know if you splash a shulker box with an invis pot that their shell disappears? You know, they don't seem so scary anymore. Did you know that the endstone texture is actually the cobblestone texture inverted? Endstone is also a way stronger block with double the blast resistance. So if you ever need to build a resistant bridge, you should use endstone instead of cobble. In Bedrock, tridents are much better. Firstly, they're much easier to come across as they have a much higher chance to be dropped from drown. The impaling enchant also does 2 times more damage to mobs in Bedrock Edition versus Java Edition that are currently wet. Pretty much any mob can drown in Minecraft, but one of the select few that can't is the iron golem. This is probably because they're fully made of iron, but either way, it just looks like they're walking around on the ocean floor like it's the surface. A furnace in Minecraft can be used to propel a minecart forward in Java Edition. This is the unique and cool feature, but sadly in Bedrock Edition, you can't craft a furnace in a minecart. Hoppers are a cool way of hiding your items through things like carpets, because you can drop it on the floor and it'll pick it up through the carpet. But something like that might be a little obvious, so an even better way to drop items into hidden hoppers is with dirt paths. It works just like a carpet and it's way less noticeable. Have you ever noticed that when moving away from a mob, it disappears before the chunks do? Well, chests and shulkers actually do the exact same thing. This means that if you build a base in the sky with shulkers and chests, they'll disappear if you get far enough away, letting you have a secret sky base. We all know that things like torches and glowstone emit light in Minecraft, but a lesser known thing that also emits emits light is the brown mushroom. Unlike the red mushroom that doesn't emit light, the brown mushroom emits a light level of 1. Torches have a secret similarity between levers that you might not have known. The texture of a torch and the texture of a lever are actually the exact same. The only difference is the tip of the torch being orange and the lever being gray. Finding flint from gravel can be a serious pain. It takes forever to get. But did you know that if you have a Fortune 3 shovel, it will drop flint 100% of the time? This is so useful if you need to get flint randomly on the go. The safest way to get down from a massive height without water is actually powdered snow and a carpet. If you place powdered snow down and then carpet on top, you can fall onto it without taking a single heart of damage from any height. Running around finding tall flowers like sunflowers or lilacs can be such a pain, but luckily you can actually use bone meal to duplicate these tall plants. Unfortunately, you can't use it on short flowers. Did you know that if you place down scaffolding under a snow layer, you can actually fall through it and go below? You can use this to create a hidden base no one will find. Just make sure you remember where you put it. Minecraft is known for their very different and customizable worlds, but did you know that the chances of getting the same seed twice is 1 in 280 trillion? This has never happened before and will likely never happen. Red flowers are considerably more rare than yellow flowers are when you find them in the plains biome. Just take a look around and the yellow ones appear way more frequently. We've all seen the Minecraft rail. It's an iconic part of the game, but a little secret you most likely didn't know about them is that their texture when turned actually resembles a little iron pickaxe. I've never noticed this until now, but now I can't unsee it. Did you know no matter what, cats won't take any fall damage? That means you can drop a cat from max height and they still won't take a single heart of damage. Just another reason to get a pet cat, I guess. Back in the day, Notch liked to reuse textures like how endstone is just inverted cobblestone. But did you know that this is also the case for Bedrock? Bedrock is literally just a high contrast version of cobblestone. Are you ever fighting a blaze and it's just a little too far out of your reach? Next time you're in the Nether, consider bringing a fishing rod. You can use it to bring in enemies like a ghast to get a hit in with your sword. This is so much easier. If you're ever planning on making a base in the Nether, just make sure it's not using doors. This is because piglins can actually open and close doors, so instead just make it out of an iron door or a trapdoor. In Bedrock, the water looks a lot worse than Java. This is because it changes color depending on the biome that you're in. This means that if you're in a swamp biome, the water will look all gross and green. In Java Edition, it only changes depending on what type of body of water it is. If it's a warmer ocean, it'll be lighter blue, and if it's a colder ocean, it'll be darker blue. When you use things like fire aspect swords or flint and steel to kill an animal, the meat they drop will automatically be cooked. However, if the animal dies from a campfire, their meat will remain raw. This doesn't make any sense. In the new mangrove swamp biome, you can actually find bee nests on the trees. I have no clue how this happens, but if you ever need bees, you can find them there. On Java, the chances to find one are around 5%, but on Bedrock, the chance is only 4%. If you smelt a wet sponge in a furnace using a single piece of coal, by placing a bucket in the bottom slot of the furnace, the water that was originally in the sponge will go into the bucket. When sponges are used, they become wet and you can dry them out in a furnace. An even faster way is placing them down in the Nether, which will instantly dry them. In spectator mode, left-clicking on a painting does something you might not have guessed. It will allow you to see the game through the painting's perspective. This is because the painting is an entity and you can spectate any entity in the game in spectator mode. Did you know it's possible to burn in lava in water? This is such a random fact, but to do it, all you need is a cauldron and then place it underwater and place lava inside. Now just get inside and burn. In Minecraft, pumpkin stems have a fixed direction and will always face northwest. So if for some reason you can't access the F3 menu, you can use this little trick to find which direction you're facing. Luring sheep and cows can be really annoying as they're so slow. But what's even slower is the panda, specifically the lazy panda variant. They are so incredibly slow, moving this guy would be an absolute nightmare. By trapping an enderman inside a boat, you can prevent it from teleporting away. This can be used to easily kill endermen, keeping them still and harmless. Parrots in Minecraft tend to swarm random mobs. Even if the mobs are hostile, they'll still follow them around. This replicates parrots in real life as they like to follow other animals. Despite its durability and superiority, the netherite pickaxe mines blocks at a slightly slower speed than the fragile gold pickaxe. Obviously, the netherite pick is the better choice as the gold pickaxe's durability is horrible. But if you ever need the fastest option, gold is the way to go. This is the nether portal and this is a Pether Nordle. To achieve such a structure, you need an update suppressor and use it to break the game code, allowing you to break nether portals. Sadly though, this only works in 1.18 and under as it was patched in 1.19. With the new armadillo mob, you can actually play soccer with it. This is because thanks to a Reddit user called Stabili, they found if you use commands, you can permanently make the armadillo curled up. Lightning is one of the weirder things in Minecraft. If it hits a creeper, you get a supercharged creeper. If it hits a pig, they become a pigman. If it hits a villager, it turns into a witch. But did you know if it hits a turtle, it gives you a bowl? This is so weird. Even if a villager is peacefully sleeping in a bed, you have the ability to kick them out simply by right-clicking on the bed. So if you're ever in need to sleep and a villager is there, just kick them out. Villagers are one of the most annoying mobs in the game, and moving them can be a serious pain. Some people think a boat or a minecart is the best way to move them, but it's actually a bell. If a bell is wrong, all villagers will go to the nearest bed. If you're ever falling from a significant height and risk taking fall damage, exiting the world and re-entering it before hitting the ground can prevent any damage. This takes advantage of how the game resets velocity when you exit and re-enter. Iron golems are a very useful but expensive friend, and when your iron golem gets low HP, no one wants to spend another 4 blocks just for a new one. But did you know you can actually right click an iron golem with iron just to heal them? Just don't left click or it could turn out badly. We all know that maces are super overpowered in the new update, but getting to a height to deal some real damage is pretty difficult. But did you know you can actually use armor stands to propel yourself in the air? If you place down an armor stand and jump from 2 blocks onto it with the windburst enchantment, you'll be sent soaring into the air. You can use this to easily take down any mobs in your path. Have you ever had a sign with a bunch of stuff written on it and don't want to have to rewrite it all over again to another location? Well, if you're in creative, you can shift middle click and it will copy the whole block identity, including the writing. You can even do this with chests with everything inside. I wish I knew this sooner. We all know that Minecraft PvP was changed in 1.8 from the classic spamming to a cooldown system. But did you know that Bedrock still has pre 1.8 PvP? Which PvP do you prefer? Did you know that each end portal block has a 10% chance to spawn with an eye inside it? That means you can find an end portal with 0 eyes inside. The average is around 3 to 5, but there are some that can spawn fully lit. The chances of this, however, are over 1 in a trillion. So definitely don't go expecting to get a fully lit portal. Are you ever out of fireworks and need to use your elytra? Well, don't worry. There's actually another way to fly, and it's much more efficient. If you have a potion of slow falling and splash yourself with it, you can actually fly way farther than a dumb firework would ever get you. It's just a little slow. In Bedrock, when you throw a fishing rod, you'll notice that the bobber is actually a 3D render in the water. I personally prefer this much more than the 2D bobber in Java that tracks you. In Java Edition, when trading with villagers, you never really know what you'll get when you upgrade them. But in Bedrock Edition, you can see what the trades will be before you level them up. Speaking of villagers, did you know that a Bedrock baby villager head is much larger? This is a baby villager in Bedrock, and this is a baby villager in Java. Their head is much larger on Bedrock. When you look through the inventory in Bedrock and Java, you'll notice that when moving blocks around, Bedrock has an animation when you shift click a block to your hotbar. In Java, it just goes there instantly. Also in Bedrock, when you click an item, the block appears to grow much larger, but in Java, the block stays the same size when you click it. Did you know that your pet fox can actually pick up a sword? It even does the same damage as the sword would do when attacking, making your pet fox really overpowered. You can also give it a totem of undying, so if your precious fox pet ever gets close to death, they'll still have another life. Wooden blocks like bookshelves and pressure plates match the texture of the wood type they're made out of. But this isn't the case for paintings, because the back of the painting is slightly different colored from every wood type. Lingering potions in Minecraft last for 30 seconds if untouched, but if someone gets inside of it, they'll disappear after just 5 seconds.